Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast Diving Diep with Alan. So this podcast series or audiomentary is going to be an 8 to 9 part series, max 9, where we're just going through a few topics. So to me these topics are timeless, quite timeless, and because of that nature, our perspectives and our views of these topics will change with time and experiences. So I feel like, especially now at this age, it's a great time to explore and try out new things. And this is probably the perfect time to start recording a podcast on these topics, such as our perspectives on our parents, my perspective on family, friends, dating, marriage. I feel like, especially now, I'm in that transitional stage in terms of my life where I'm neither a child nor am I an adult yet because I'm still in uni. So right now, perfect. That's just a little intro to the podcast. When we come back, we'll talk a bit more about myself. Welcome back, everyone. So just a bit about myself. So I'm a lover of mango. Anything mango, mango ice cream, mango smoothie, mango scroll, mango tarts. Fresh mangoes. You give me, I finish. It doesn't matter if I'm full, I will finish that mango. Mango number one. My best, my top. Mango the best. Mango my love. And my favorite music group, if you're wondering, is Day6. So it's a Korean band. But currently, my groups I'm listening to a lot is groups. No, they're solo, actually. So one of them is Very Koi Bunny. So she's a small artist, solo artist, but she uses that band sound. So she plays electric guitar. I love her music. And then another solo artist, her name is Merch. I think that's how you say it. So it's written as MRCH. She has an incredible voice. So yeah, those are the two music acts that I am listening to right now. And obviously my favorite song is currently would be Lack of Love by Very Koi Bunny and Still Romantic by Merch. I love these songs. They give me joy. And currently, what book am I reading? So it's a book called User Friendly by Cliff Kwong. So it's a book that it's a design book, funnily enough. So it's on the front page. It just says how the hidden rules of designs are changing the way we live, work, and play. So this book just writes about how design and how things have changed because of something. So that was terrible. But like for example, your phone, the way it's designed or how it's designed is because there was technological development in the past. And obviously with many technological advancements, they come from war. And obviously back then, you know how a computer used to fit a whole room, and now all that advancements have led us to the phone. And this book just runs through many stories, many design, many changes in history, which leads us to where we are now. So they talk about the phone and how it's so addictive. So recently I was reading a chapter on Facebook and how 12 likes, I think it was 12. So 12, they follow you, they track your likes, and then 12 likes they're able to profile you. So they'll profile you down to your race, occupation, age, and sex, which is scary, but that's where we are now in society. And yeah, because normally I don't read these types of books. I'm more into like your self-help, your more spiritual type of books. So looking at my bookshelf ish with like 20 books, There's Ikigai, Wabi Sabi, Kaizen, Complete Self-Help for Your Nerves, Slight Edge. So those are the books I normally read, and I normally enjoy. But personally, I feel like I should expand on what I'm reading because looking through those self-help books, they just say the same message but in a different context. So with the Ikigai and Wabi Sabi and Kaizen, they have that Japanese um, lens on it because they're all Japanese concepts, and the author has taken inspiration and gone and observed the Japanese culture to distill those messages in terms of how we live, how we eat, how we act, and how we uphold ourselves as a human being. But then you see those same principles, you see those same ideas in books such as The Sly Edge, or like How to Have a Beautiful Mind. It's just it's compacted or packed up in a different way and put it in a different context. So rather than it being in a Japanese tea room, you're in a multi-million-dollar company boardroom. But the ideas and the concepts and how you uphold yourself and how you view struggles, how you view challenges, and how you persist through them, it's quite similar in what they say. So I feel like that's why for a period stopped reading in general was because I just kept on seeing the same message over and over. That's why I moved on and I bought this book about design. Because for me, design and like creative arts in general isn't something I'm too comfortable or good in. Because I remember back in high school, primary school, I couldn't draw, I couldn't color in, couldn't paint, couldn't do clay, nothing. Anything to do like creativity, anything to use my with my imagination, I would struggle. And I feel like now, as I've grown a bit older, I've understood the value of design and how one design or how the motif or the metaphor of a design can really affect the way it comes across. So, um, so for example, like the brutalist architecture, like so the brutalist architecture is heavy concrete, very dull, and that creates an atmosphere. Whereas you go to Japan and they have those wooden houses or huts or like those tea rooms, and in terms of how they design, how they open up the space with windows, how they have the corner edges on the outs on the roof to symbolize something. It fascinates me now on how design can really, really affect the atmosphere, and it's something I want to learn. Like in terms of its applicability to my life, is kind of there's no applicability because I do physio. Like there's no way, but to understand and to conceptualize and pick out those things in life, um, that's something I'm really interested in. But if you're asking me if I wanted to do architecture, no way. I can't draw to save my life. I can't do design. But yeah, so that's a book I'm going through now. So we're just trying to go through it 10 pages a day, small steps, but that's how you build habits, right? But yeah, my favorite book I've read would be a book by Catherine Gray called The Unexpected Joy of the Ordinary. So you can tell from its name, it's a self-help, like a life direction book that will guide you on life. And in the hustle and bustle, the hedonic nature of life we live in today in the 21st century, it's a great book that peels things back and reminds us of the simple things in life that we should enjoy. So, one of the anecdotes I remember from the book is she questions whether we go on holidays. Do we go on holidays to enjoy our holiday, or are we just running away from our daily lives? And the holiday is just to mask our miserable day to day. And that got me thinking, how, how should I live my life if that's how people have that perceptions with their holidays? And so reading that book, it really opened up to me, like just simple things like just saying thank you, or understanding that a smile, or just having those 5 minutes of relaxation, meditation, breathing throughout the day can really, really bring joy. Not necessarily like you can't always be happy, but just those moments of happiness within your day, moments of spark, those moments of, kindness could really change the mood of a day. And I feel like reading that book opened my eyes to it. Like, obviously, I was aware of little things, but for someone to document it and just to say, oh, you can wash the dishes and that could be your time to meditate and relax. Like, that really changed the way I saw washing the dishes, because now when I do the dishes, I have fun. Washing the dishes is fun, which is weird to admit, but that's what the book has taught me, and that's what like these self-help books I've read have allowed me to do. It's giving me that new perspective on how I can live my life. Well, obviously, I feel like I need to go back and read them again, because these stories, these anecdotes, they will change every time you read them. So yeah, unexpected joy of the ordinary. Please read. Yeah, but moving on. So currently, I'm a fourth year physio student studying at Western Sydney University. Fourth year last year. So it's my fourth year in physio, but I've been in uni for 6 years. So it's kind of been quite a long while. But yeah, I'm excited, especially for the next 12 to 18 months. It's that transition going from being a student and now actually going to the workforce and contributing full time. I'm a, on one end, I'm a bit worried because once you start working, it becomes difficult. But hopefully, I can find a way to just enjoy the work and enjoy what I'm doing. Because now, physio isn't what it was 20 years ago. Obviously, we have patients' expectations on what they perceive physio to be and what they would like for you to do as treatment for them. But also, we need to be careful not to fall into that trap of just doing the same things for each patient, and we need to be like creative and really be specific on what we want to do for our patient. So it will be a big challenge, especially for me. I'm quite a systematic person, so going to physio, it's quite challenging and it's different in terms of each patient is unique, so you gotta have to treat everyone in a unique way. Whereas before I did pharmacy, you'd have a guideline. We'd have the AMH, so the Australian Medicines Handbook. We have ETG, so the therapeutic guidelines, in which we follow as our safety net. Whereas in physio, there are so many ways, so many treatment options that we can do. None more right or wrong than the other. It's just depending on our patient. Am I scared? A bit. Am I nervous? Of course. But I can't wait. I didn't expect myself to be excited to work full time, but I am. And that's probably a good sign that I've picked the right degree or picked the right career. But in terms of where I want to get to specifically, I'm still not sure. Like, ideally, knowing me, if I could do a bit of everything, a bit of pediatrics, a bit of chronic diseases, a bit of musculoskeletal, a bit of neurophysio, a bit of cardiorespiratory, that would be ideal. But the world, the career doesn't allow me to do so because the skills within those different fields are the skill set required is quite different between those different fields. So I'm not sure, but I'm really excited to get into it. I don't want to say too much because maybe in 5 years' time I'm like in a different career, maybe back into pharmacy, studying masters. Who knows? But nah, fingers crossed. I think I picked the right career. Yeah, and I'm really happy I did. But I am a bit concerned because my personality, I am a comfortable introvert. I'd rather not talk, and especially doing health, it's 80% communication. All you do is communicate to your patient, you communicating to them, and them communicating to you. And we have to understand what they're saying, and they have to understand what we're saying, and we come to a mutual goal. And maybe sometimes I wonder, how can I improve? How can I improve my communication skills? How can I do better? How can I explain something in a way that the patient can understand? Or how do I express myself in a way that doesn't sound rude? Because I feel like I can sound quite cold, I can sound quite harsh, and I feel like that comes across in the wrong way for some people. Most people will understand, most people would just take it as what it is. Other people, they just come in, they're like, why don't you smile? Smile, honey, or whatever. And that's something I think I should work on, but it's kind of difficult because I'll need that feedback and probably have to talk to like my friends and ask them what they do. But it's just room to improve, things to improve on. But yeah, talking about personality, so MBTI, I am a introvert, set introvert. So the last time I did it, I was a INTJ, but the 12 months before that, I was the flip, reverse. So I don't know what I am. But I don't know. With the MBTI, it's quite controversial in terms of, I read somewhere where they said that the MBTI, it was how you perceive yourself in that moment. So the questions they ask and how they end up with your results isn't accurate because when your mood changes, your results change, which to an extent isn't accurate because obviously your personality changes depending on your environment, depending on the context. But but then the fact is there's no consistency tells me that there's flaws with that personality test. But it's all fun and games, right? But the one I trust more is Helen Fisher's personality test. So Helen Fisher is what is she? Like a researcher, but she researches. She read a few books about like love biochemistry. So the personality trait that I came out as is builder. So for her definition of a builder, we are quiet people, and we work hard, and we have quite a collectivist group mindset. And as a builder, we're quite calm, and we just do our work. And I feel like that really suits me until I get distracted. But yeah, that's my personality for you. Sometimes a bit crazy, not really, quite bland. I shouldn't say that, but yes, that is me. So reflecting on this first podcast and this project overall, I feel like it's quite difficult doing a podcast. Just on this intro section, this first part, I had to redo it 3-4 times. Had to replan the episode and replan how I constructed this. And obviously, since this is the first time doing this, there will be chinks, there will be things that I need to iron out. But I didn't expect it to be this hard. Like, this is the first time using a recording application. I don't know how to edit. And it's weird because I hate listening to my own voice and doing a podcast. If you're gonna have to edit, you're gonna have to listen to your own voice over and over and over, which is really, really strange. And then because on the podcast, it's a speaking, it's all auditory, right? So all I'm doing is talking, and I can't use my facial expressions, I can't use my hands, which is so difficult because I'm just like swinging my hands around trying to like explain something, putting on a smile, and my facial expression change. But it's useless in a podcast. It's quite difficult. Much more harder than I thought, but that's the challenge of it. So yeah, it'll be weird listening to my own voice because I hate listening to it. It just sounds weird because my perception on how I hear my voice, I sound clearer in my head than I actually do. When I actually listen to it, there's like this croakiness. It just sounds off. But yeah, in my head, it sounds crystal clear, HD, 4K, whatever. But yes, that was part one. Thank you for listening. I hope you tune into the next part. And I hope you give me feedback, whether you find me on my Insta or Facebook or TikTok, whichever medium. Just give me feedback, give me, whatever your thoughts are. Because, on this journey, it's not just me, but with you guys, whoever's listening, to my 1 or 2 listeners. Thank you if you are listening. Because it is a journey, and this is my thought journey, and I hope that you have your own thought journey as well. So yeah, just type it in, send me a message, whichever. So that's it for part 1. See you in the next part. So that was Diving Diep with Alan, part 1.
I'm stuck in this room, 'cause it shines beautiful. So do they streetlights, and so do you. Wish we could stay